Almost 200 of the nation's finest minds on tax have swapped ideas in Canberra all day, but there isn't much to show for it. The Tax Forum has brought together politicians, bureaucrats, industry and community lobbyists for nearly 8 hours of talks. There have been plenty of suggestions for new and simpler taxes, but unions remain at odds with business, and the states are still locked in a standoff with the Commonwealth on whether to touch some of the biggest taxes in the land. Here's Chief Political Correspondent Mark Simpkin.
The afternoon session proved too taxing for some delegates. One seemed almost catatonic, despite the enthusiasm of another of the independents.
Whatever does your biscuit, the key from here is outcomes.
Rob Oakeshott is the smart cookie who demanded a tax forum.
Outcomes, outcomes, outcomes.
Major outcomes are unlikely, although some tax changes are possible.
Clever ideas about spending money have to be matched with clever ideas about where that money is coming from.
Despite that exhortation, the only thing the delegates seem to agree on is that everyone should pay less tax and everyone else should pick up the tab for it.
Much of what has been said is quite predictable. Could have written the script for this before coming in.
Predictably, the business groups call for company tax to be slashed to 25%, and the unions disagreed.
This forum can't be allowed to be a vehicle for self-serving business interests.
Lowering the company tax rate to stay competitive is not, in our view, a race to the bottom. In Australia's case, it's more like a race to the middle.
Just as predictably, the states call for a slice of the Commonwealth's income tax in return for cutting inefficient taxes like stamp duty.
Unless you share in the most efficient taxes the country has, you're never going to move forward.
No, I have no appetite for that at all.
Nor does he have any appetite for increasing the GST, changing the mining tax, or embracing some of the more radical suggestions, like a fat tax,
saturated fat tax, 3%,
and a traffic jam tax.
Congestion is costing the order of $20 billion a year.
The coalition didn't attend the forum. Tony Abbott says he wasn't invited.
It looks like just another pointless talk fest from an embarrassingly incompetent government.
There are 15 hours of talks and 200 people talking. Whatever you call it, a summit, a forum or a gabfest, all the big ideas are constrained by a political reality. The government doesn't have the political capital or the financial flexibility for another big fight. Mark Simpkin, ABC News, Canberra.